Hey everyone! So today, Jason brought over Earth. So I saw this on Kickstarter a while back, and I didn't realize I thought about backing it, but I think me and Jason had to talk about it, and he backed it. So I appreciate him bringing it over. The way he describes it to me, it is basically Wingspan and Terraforming Mars put together. And I was like, okay, that sounds fun. And it's a 1 to 5 player game. And honestly, the game right now, so it's available for pre-order, is about $50. And we opened up the box, and for $50, I think it's a pretty good deal. So, one of the really cool things they did was that first day backers got their names printed inside the lid, and that's always a nice little touch, especially since it was really unexpected. I don't even know if they announced this. So it was really neat, and of course Jason found his name as usual, because he's good about that stuff. And I don't know why I never back games that put my name on anything, but that's fine. So, we have our standard gaming manual. Nice and big, clear. It's pretty much a reading level that I should be able to comprehend, but we'll see about that, as I screw up game rules all the time. It seems pretty well organized. We just have an index, no glossary, so that's always a fail. Alright, an achievement sheet. Okay, win first game. That's kind of a little fun thing on the side. So we have the Earth scoreboard. Guess this is for different player amounts. Then we actually have the Earth board. Okay, these are the player boards. The cardboard's a little weird. It's not the best feeling cardboard. But everything seems pretty clear and well laid out. I do like the pictures that they got here, though. That is some really nice scenery. This one says team. Oh, so there is a dueling mode. You can have team of 2 versus 2. So that's a really neat feature. And there, of course, there is a solo mode, because every board game has to have a solo mode these days. So that's kind of neat. And as usual, a hole punch comes out, and that's alright. I don't know what this token is for, but I do like the fact that there's a polar bear. Everyone loves polar bears. And a spring. It's like a player marker. And we have this adorable, cute, cuddly fox. Look at that guy. So cute. And on the back is springs. So we have these tokens. We have these treetops, which I thought was actually kind of interesting that you stack them up. And we have these cubes. These look like standard American, don't they? Yeah, I don't have enough of these sleeves. They do have some like really cool little facts on the Earth here. Like this one says Kauai was formed, so that's kind of neat. A puffin can flap its wings 400 times per minute. Wow, that's a neat fact. So that's a nice touch. I believe there's something like 280 cards. We have our score pad. These are some really good photos that they took. I do like these backs too. Really nice looking backs. Anything else in here? Nope. Well, that's not gonna matter. It actually has a really cool insert. So, the contents is 283 Earth cards, 145 Sprout cards, 105 Soil tokens, roughly 521 cards? No, 23 cards. I'll have to check my math later. Canopy pieces, leaf, ecosystem cards. Okay, a lot more cards. What does the asterisk mean? Double-sided for more variety. Okay. That's pretty neat. So that's what comes in the base box, and I believe this is what the retail version of Earth will look like. So, Jason did get the Kickstarter extras. So, our tokens are now these wood tokens. We have the promo cards. Very odd marker for a player. I thought they would at least put the fox. And it has some really weird feeling plastic too. believe these black tokens are represented these tokens. And then we have these scoring tokens. These seem to be all wood. Yep, they're wood. And of course we have the promo cards. Might get a little loud. So, because they're Kickstarter exclusives, I will show them off. So, first card, it looks like a season card, December. Has 19% on it. I wonder if that 19% is the cardboard. Recycled cardboard? No, I don't know what that means. So we have December, November, October, and September. Then we have August, July. So these are just seasons. May, April, March, February, and January. So, get a nice clean video of those. Table shot. My bad. Alright, so here we have the extra, and Jason said this was $25, and it's made out of birch. Looks like a solid piece of birch. So, welcome back. Yeah, we were really fun rebuilding the insert here, and well, we watched the video. It was pretty hilarious, but yeah, not the most stable. We did break off a couple of pieces because the design. Really wonky and weird because everything just seems really disproportionate if we put them the way they are. So, the video said that you could have everything here sleeved and fit comfortably, and all I can say is liar. But apparently, as...
Actually, if you take the dividers out...
Yeah, we take the dividers out, but what's the point of this? If we take the dividers out, yes. So, one of these decks we have split into 2 slots. Another deck we had to mix with these single-player cards. And it all comes down to, apparently, Gamegenics Standard American are premium, super, ultra thick sleeves. I don't know what sleeves they used to do this testing, unless it was like saran wrap wrapped around a card. I don't know. But yeah, this is very, very tight, and kind of a pain to get to. But yeah, other than that, I do have some nipples here. I have a little tray of nipples. And if you put enough of them together, it makes a crown. It just needs to say Crayola on it. It's perfect. And then, apparently this is dirt. It looks like poop to me. I guess if you put a little smiley face on it, it could be a poop emoji. We have this really weird feeling plastic, which I feel like is the vegetable plastic, that mushroom you can make out of mushrooms. I don't like the fact that it's not the cute fox, because somehow I think the sprat's better. So we just threw all the actual marker tokens in that because it seems weird that these are so small and they just don't make enough, and yet I have a billion nipples. But that is what Earth looks like, all packed up. I am pretty sure we could put all the game boards in there. So, we've gotten our first game of Earth in, and the initial first impressions are, it's a lot like Wingspan and Terraforming Mars. So, as you can see here, this is basically how you start the game. So you get an island, you get a temperature, and you get your ecosystem. They're both double-sided. They're all double-sided cards. Pretty much anything that has a choice is double-sided. So it's really cool that you get 2, pick 1, and it's really you're getting 4 cards and picking which one fits. And you can key together some really cool combos. So in this example, we have an island that is cold that matches the temperature. Now on the other side, okay, that also matches the temperature. So does this island. So you can pick through that. And then if you have an ecosystem that actually matches the environment of your temperature and everything, you get bonuses. So it's a really neat system, and it gives you a lot of variety to actually, have choice. And you're the one that really commits yourself to your strategy. Now, us not knowing the initial game and how to get mad combos, but the goal of the game is to get these cards, which is the Earth cards, And you're either going to dump them all into your soil stack, which is just a stack of dead cards, but every card in your soil stack is worth a point, so that's really neat. On your game board, you do have your references, so that's really nice. But the goal of the game is to basically build a 4x4 grid, so 16 cards, and you place them out. So one of the cool things that's really interesting is that it allows you to control endgame speed, which I love doing because it screws over everyone else's master plans. So you could make this game drag out really long if you wanted to, but that's just not a cool thing to do, and that drives games forever. But this game is a point salad. You are going to be generating tons and tons of combos and points off everything. So that's just an example right here of the ecosystem I have, just randomly thrown out here. But the first person to put 16 cards out just triggers endgame. There is no, one more turn, so people can't really think about it. And the cool thing about it is, so you have these spots here. These are what allow you to put these little growth tree spot or tokens, whatever. They look like nipples, so I'm just gonna call them nipples. So on them there's a point value, and once you've actually gotten growth there to be the top, this card now becomes a 4-point card on top of its leaf value. And then you have these little leaf symbols here that you could fill with these green cubes. So that's an extra 2 points. So every cube is a point also. So the game has a lot of ways to make a point salad, and what you really want to do is you don't have to set your cards in any particular order, you just have to make the grid. But it allows you to do some really crazy combos. So when your opponent or you do a move, you get the top action, everyone else gets the bottom action. But these bars trigger in order left to right, down. Except for the black ones, they're instant when you do them. So with the combos, your opponent or you, if you choose one of these colors, you get the top action, and everyone else gets the bottom action. Regardless, though, of whoever triggers what action, the middle bar here is a color code that goes left to right. So as soon as this triggers, let's say I play, and this allows me to draw 2 cards, or place 2 cards, which is place them in this area. That's basically the only way to play cards in the area. And here is draw 4, pick 1, the rest get discarded. Everyone else gets to put 1 card down, and they draw 1 card. But now I have this green action here that triggers, and this allows me to put 2 cubes you planted this turn on a snow location. So it's just a lot of accelerations. Like it'd help with this Hurley fungus because it's a snow fungus, this Virginia strawberry because it's snow, this Hawaiian mushy, whatever. So that's really cool. Getting dirt's really cool. Like these colored actions, this will always trigger. So this one's really nice because if your opponent did it, you still get the +2. But then down here, if you discard 1 soil, you get 2 green cubes that you can just put. So there's a lot of engine mechanics to work with, and there's a lot of strategizing about min-maxing. So the game's really neat in that aspect. I really think that's actually a really cool prospect. Some cards, like they have these little arrows here, like this honey fungus, has a down effect. So when you trigger the blue bar, it says put 1 on each mushroom in this column up and down. So right there. Problem is that that's the only fungus, or that's not even a fungus. So that's a bad placement. But if this fungus was here, now when you trigger the blue action, it would give automatically 1 green token. So lots of mechanics. This game is not complicated to play, but I can see it being very difficult because it's going to do the analysis paralysis that most people have, because they're going to try to min-max and they're going to look at everything. And that can make the game drag a little long. The part of, like Jason told me, this is Terraforming Mars, is you're building an ecosystem on a little island. Some cards that you have here are event cards. Like here we have an earthquake. It's worth 0 points, but as soon as you play it, you can sacrifice 2 wood to basically take 5 cards out of your soil pile, or dump 5 cards in the soil pile. Is that what the symbol is? Somewhere. Yeah, your compost pile. So So this automatically would go here, and at the end of the game, usually these are negative points, some are positive, but they always have an effect that's basically destroy something to add stuff to the soil, get more tokens, get more wood tokens, and growth. So the game has a lot of stuff going for it. Is it good? I personally enjoy these types of games. I like games where I can control the flow. I like games that I can min-max. But with my playgroup, it can run long. Games like this, if it's just me and Jason, go fairly quick because we're already plotting. Usually it's one or the other that gets ahead. So it really depends on your playgroup and your playstyle. We haven't tried the other modes yet. We haven't really had time. And Jason's not here right now while I do this. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the game. And there's a lot of planning. I do think this is a really neat concept. And I like the idea a lot. I do actually really do care about the environment and saving it. And I think games like this are a good way for people to understand how certain effects of an ecosystem all go together. With that being said, this is a really dumbed down version of it. And I get it because, you know, it's too complicated to actually factor into a game, and that'd probably be a very boring and terrible game. But so far, Earth, the trade-off is it's neat. Games like this, I usually rate really high. Replayability on this game, there's a lot. One of the issues we ran in the game, though, is so in a 2-player game, we were both able to dump almost 200 cards into our soil pile out of the 300 card deck. Like, it was ridiculous how fast we were going through it because we just had the engine. I don't know what really happens when if you play with 5 people that there's no soil left. Or there's nothing to put in the compost heap. So, I can see some issues with that. Gameplay mechanics, I don't know if there's enough resources to, because as you can see, some of these have 5, some have 6, like this one. There might not be enough of these green cubes. So, we haven't run into that problem yet because, like I said, we just did our first impression with 2 people. I do like the synergy and trade-off too. So you have these locations that you can put out, and they're really neat, but they hinder your extra points that you'd get from putting growth and cubes. So they have powerful abilities though, and these ecosystems or locations are really beneficial to you. You just have to strategize because you're going to get more points for playing the plants than anything else. But these will allow you to complete certain goals too, depending on whatever the goal cards are, or objective cards that are placed on this board, which I will get to shortly. But this is basically how how the setup looks like when you're playing the game competitively. So I think it's really neat. Like I said, I really like the system of you get 2 islands, but you pick which side you want. So it's really 4-card choice. Same with temperature, same with ecosystem, and everything just kind of blends better together for min-maxing, and it's super effective, I should say. You also have this action on this board that you can always do, which is remove 3 green cubes to get soil. So I'm guessing the green cubes represent leaf or fauna. That's why you can always, like, sacrifice them for stuff. Like, we have this wildfire here, which is an event that is -4 points at end of game scoring. That shouldn't even be here. And a volcano. Here, that's better. Have a redwood forest. But as you can see here, this is to lose 4 points. You remove 6 green cubes to draw 6 cards, which is pretty helpful. Same with this volcano, but you can lose 7 cubes to get 8 dirt or soil, and that's really helpful because you need soil to play cards. Soil is basically your currency. So anything that gives you soil as a continuous effect is really strong in this game. And some of these events, I had one where I just did it and I just dumped 20 cards in my discard pile, or my compost pile. I was like, that's just 20 points. That's completely worth it for free. Later did I know that wasn't really worth anything, but that card did give me a huge point advantage and allowed me basically to put it down to 16th ecosystem on Jason's turn because he decided to do the top action where he could put 2. I was already at 15 cards. I just needed 1. I was like, well, I think I'm in the lead. I'm going to lock it down and control the game. Because you don't have to do the actions, but that's how I chose it. this is pretty much the setup and how the game works. And like I said, you're just looking for a lot of combo synergies. I like the format, and it's good if you're that type of gamer. But I can like also see that it's gonna basically make people freeze up and overanalyze, and that can definitely add to a very long game time if that's not what you're looking for. If you're looking for something a little bit more casual, this might not be it. So here I have basically your objective board in the center, and first person to actually meet the objective of whatever it takes to put this out, the animal, you basically put your score token there. So, like the Kingfisher here, you have to have 6+ blue abilities in your forest or your ecosystem. This is 2 multicolored, this is 4 of a certain plant type, and this is for events in your stack. So, once you place all of your tokens out, there's a 5th token that we were wondering, because there wasn't a spot on this board, as you can see, for the 5th token. This token is the first person to get all 4 gets an extra 7 points, so it's really strong if you can pull it off, but again, you gotta pay attention to these. And on top of that, you have your end game scoring that are basically extra island effects. And however they come out, I guess randomly, since I think we used to die, these are just all bonus points at the end of the game. So, like I said, there's a lot of choice and variety in the game, and I think it's really good. Replayability, it's all the same, but it's just different ways of getting to the end. But it adds a lot. And like I said, this adds a certain complexity and randomness, even though you can kind of choose what fits. Because once you know what some of the goals are for the end island too, you can actually figure out, hey, do I want to actually start with a climate, island, and ecosystem that matches these values at endgame scoring? And are, certain cards you're going for, card combos, you can look here. And 15 points in this game doesn't seem like a lot, but it is when this game can run you easily 200 points in about a half hour. So, I like it. It offers a lot. It has replayability. I just also have some reserves about it just because I know how certain people play games, and especially I know my playgroup fairly well. So now to my gripes about the game. As cool as this insert is, and I really like that they actually colored the panels where stuff goes, the Kickstarter tokens, I just don't feel like that the distribution of soil tokens can be even. The green cube's not so bad, the wood not bad, and the treetops aren't bad. But specifically the soil tokens, it's pretty bad. And I don't think you're going to get enough of them because certain objectives want you to hoard soil tokens, so you don't want to play them. I know we got the paper tokens, and that's why the paper tokens have numbers like 5, 20x on them. But for the Kickstarter exclusive, I think that this was kind of not thought out well. Other things are this insert. I don't like it. And it's mainly because I have a hard time grabbing things out of here. I'd rather just them be squares. Because if you're trying to pull them up, you're just going to spill them out anyways. I just don't like the design. I don't like these tabs on the side because, again, if earlier we broke one of these. It's just not thick enough. Putting together also was kind of a pain because of the way you have to lock it in. So where is it? It was this box here. So we had to go back and forth, and we had to figure out how to lock this in without breaking these tabs, and it was very finicky. We actually watched a video from the company that showed us how to put together, and it was pretty funny, but it doesn't go together as well. Also, I don't like the fact that cards don't really fit in here. Maybe over time they can, but I feel like some of the measurements are off because we have both the islands, 2 island piles, even though they're supposed to be 1. We have the first player stuff mixed in with the climates, I believe, and we have some other stuff mixed together. There just wasn't enough space, and I don't know if that's because whatever sleeves this company used are really thin. It has a lot of cool features, a lot of cool touches. One of the things I thought was really odd too is for a game that was very conscious about the environment, it had a lot of plastic. Way, way too much plastic. I actually kind of wish I had the packing material left to show you how much was in it for all the stuff. So, not great. But I get it. It's also part of the retail edition. The laser cutting on this, it's kind of clean, but again, I just don't like the way it's designed. I don't really care for the bowl fold cut here because it's kind of hard to get stuff when you're trying to slide up the ramp. It's just going to spill out over. And that just might be a me issue, so that's a small nitpick. Because everything's recycled, it feels weird, and that's why I've been complaining about it, but I also have to commend that it's a great thing for the game. Another weird fact I forgot to throw out. Where is it? I was showing certain percentages on cards. So, if you can see this, I'll zoom up onto it. This 45% number is how many cards are actually in this giant pile that will help benefit this. So, that's actually really cool because it helps you analyze and plan out some more on forethought. So, overall, Earth, definitely give it a try. But as far as gameplay goes, it really depends if you're the type of person that likes building engines. Because this is just really an engine building game that I think is a little bit more streamlined than Terraforming Mars. So if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. If you have come back to my videos constantly, I try to publish every week, but I'm pretty busy these days. And honestly, it just depends on when we get stuff. But let me know in the comments what you like to see me do, and tell me how I'm doing, or just drop by, say hi. There's also my giveaway I'm doing, so I definitely have a link of that video at the end. So other than that, take care guys, and GG's.